you can't fling or release or relax, but that has to be choreographed also, I think. But I thought I'd done a pretty nice job about a very difficult topic, and I awarded that 2.5 stars. Okay, Amy, who was also inspired by one of our television friends, Travis Wall, and you also noted about using your art for your personal expression, which many choreographers do, and I think that's often a good place to go. I'm going to say always start somehow, like have an interesting shape or some position that the skater is in so that we're already drawn in from the time that we start. I loved, especially in this near the beginning, there was a sort of what I'm going to call a shoot the duck into an ice roll that I thought was very inventive. And I'm going to encourage you to go for more of that sort of odd, what may seem like odd stuff. What other ways can you use the ice? Really nice musicality and physicality. I like how you put your back into it. You incorporated your torso into your skating, which I know is difficult. Again, I'm going to say when we have really specific lyrics, that's kind of difficult for us. So try to again think of images and ideas rather than getting too hung up in too much specificity of the I don't know, kind of. It's almost a little too right on. Give us a little room to imagine with it also. As I said before, make sure the arms are actually choreographed. And I thought this was a nice sort of emotional expression. And I also awarded this piece 2.5 stars. Okay, Mark, who has been to see the Ballet Rambert, and there are lots of wonderful dance companies in the UK that you can be inspired by, and certainly the Royal Ballet does lots of great, interesting things. So keep, going out to see what is available. There's lots of great stuff there. Really lots of cool invention in this piece, I thought. You capture the music really well. Some very nice design of the arms and the legs. I loved especially the slides into and out of the ice, which you had a couple of different times in some really wonderful sort of unique ways, I thought. You utilized the music well again, I thought. It's very kind of clever, has a sense of humor. Has sort of a sly attitude to it that I appreciated, and just really kind of unusual, and I thought you found ways to use the ice in a unique way for you. And then for us, the viewer. And this is the time to do that. All right, so I awarded that piece 4.5 stars. Okay, moving on to Katherine, and she was inspired by the work of Ohad Naharin, who is a wonderful Israeli choreographer. I'm going to say I liked the starting in silence. That's interesting and kind of sets us up and intrigues us right away. Some really interesting and unusual movements for the ice, I thought. There was a hand spin, kind of low gliding spin that I thought was nice. I thought perhaps keep in mind the idea of developing ideas longer. Instead of having idea to, take one thought and make it play a little bit longer. I didn't quite get the piano part into the vocalization back into the piano part. I thought was just a little bit awkward, although it wasn't that I didn't like it, but it was just a little awkward artistically, I thought. And you did the kind of interesting add-on phrase with your feet, where we kept adding foot movements. Try that with your whole body. What would happen if you did that, from head to toe? Because that's actually a kind of a cool choreographic ploy. And I awarded that piece 2.5 stars. Sean, who was looking at the work of Jack Cole, and I don't know if you're anywhere near the New York area or if this show will survive, but there is a show running in New York right now that is also based on the work of Jack Cole. He's kind of a forgotten figure in the movie industry and in the dance world. but they're maybe making a little comeback and finally getting some of his due, I think, because without him we wouldn't have had people like Bob Fosse and Michael Bennett, etc. I really liked that song a lot. It was a very kind of a cool inspiration. I thought this was really kind of like a nice show program, certainly usable and would be very entertaining for an audience. I thought the speed, one thing that would have helped it, in my opinion, is that the speed between the slow part and the fast part, maybe make the introduction is slow and then she goes, all, low jazz hot on us. I thought maybe the slow part could have been skated a little slower, so then the fast part would have had more kind of contrast. She ended up kind of skating a lot of the same tempo. I think it would have given more power if the faster part had been faster skated. And I just thought that was kind of an odd musical choice too. She does that, Julie Andrews, this is her in her very best years, and she has that wonderful sliding note at the end, but you decided to cut that, which I thought was just too bad, because I thought that could have led to something interesting. So keep working. I appreciated your efforts here. I awarded that 2 stars. And for Robert, who was inspired by Mr. Ailey, kind of an odd choice. Ailey and the music of Bolero, I don't quite get, and it's also really difficult whenever we have a frequently used piece of music, and also something that's such, an iconic piece of music in skating. But still some interesting and unusual jump entries, particularly I thought the way you got in and out of the jumps was sort of unique. You hear the accents of the music for really, really well. There's a few places where you almost have some sort of strange spin positions, and I would encourage you to find some of those, find even more of those. There's a particular, what I would call an attitude turn down into a low spin on the ice that I thought was kind of unique and interesting, and I would say look for how you can combine things and levels to make something a little more unique and unusual for you and then for us too. Also some interesting and difficult 1-foot skating, I thought, and that's difficult, I think. I'm not a skater, but I understand it's very difficult to be on one blade and continue to locomote for a while. I thought, and just kind of interesting the way that you worked that in there, and I thought the whole program was very well skated, and I awarded that 3 stars. Okay, so thank you all very much. I've had a great time looking at everything, and I wish you all the very best, and please keep doing what you're doing and putting yourself out there and taking chances and experimenting like you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.